You have an air runway, but you don't have aircraft. What is the runway doing?
Yeah.
You're locating the runway, good, but no aircrafts. What is the airport good mean for? So you have an open urinal where you can't go within 100 meters of that urinal because of the stink. Forget about using it.
These days, especially on Instagram, we see a lot of reels regarding civic sense. Even we also have seen a report called, where they have mentioned how the Indians' civic sense is there. And it's not good actually. How do you see civic sense actually affects this whole motive of CSR and all that?
See, first of all, I'm not on the Instagram,
Okay.
but I know what you're talking about. Right. So, let me give you an example again. The government constructs urban toilets, right? I'm talking about the non-sulab, non-maintained, non-managed toilets, urinals.
Where we don't have to pay anything.
Yeah, you don't got to pay anything.
Yeah.
You must have seen those
Yeah.
standing urinals for men, especially. I think that also needs a serious relook because, women with a population as equal as men in India, we don't have sufficient sanitation facilities for women. And we work in this space, so therefore I'm telling you about it. Let's take the example of Delhi. We are sitting in Delhi.
Yeah.
Let's take the example of Delhi. Google has mapped Google has mapped, and all other maps have also mapped such toilets, complexes and urinals at places. If you go to any urinal today in Delhi, be honest in this conversation and tell me how many people use it. Not because they don't want to use it. Now, there is a basic lack of civic sense, that is fine. So, one is civic sense and one is enforcement. Now, if you go to those urinals, I can guarantee you today, 70% of those urinals won't have continuous water supply. Unlike the urinals that you use in the airports, which are like state of the art.
Yeah.
Right? Because it is customized to be built for the A league of the society, right? So, they don't have water supply. Or when it was started and inaugurated, the water supply was there. After that, nobody. So, you would see all sorts of fluids flowing out of that and causing stink. People would not go. And in fact, on the contrary, you would actually see people urinating on the wall of it from the outside.
Yeah.
Which creates more problem. A CSR normally, if I would be ready to invest my capital in something like this, say for example, a sanitary ware company comes into existence and says, okay, what we will do is we will take the entire open urinals of East Delhi or West Delhi or any one segment, deploy capital, put our supplies of water. The government has prepared an infrastructure. We will be responsible maintaining it. You must have seen a lot of parks, roundabouts, where it's written that this park is maintained by so-and-so limited company.
Right.
Let's do it with urinals. You can use your own sanitary ware. So I would say, I don't know how much of this is marketing, but you can use your own sanitary places. You can write that this is managed by so-and-so company. You can give a 24-hour water supply. Keep the area clean, design it in a certain way. I can tell you about 50 to 60% tectonic shift will happen on the behavioral side of the people. They would want to go in. Right. The other 50% is based on awareness. I think the initial burst of Swachhata campaign run by the Prime Minister was a brilliant campaign.
Yeah.
Right. It was a brilliant campaign. I don't know where it lost the steam. But I think that should have continued till date with full vigor and force. Look at cities like Indore. Why is it getting the Clean City Award year after year, year after year, year after year? That means the local agencies and the private companies are getting together to bring some change. Why is Delhi not getting that reward? Why is other cities not getting that reward? So I think civic sense needs investment, but also awareness. If you get these two, I think a lot of this will sort out. I think I gave you a very localized example because we see it every day. But so many localized, 4 companies take care of South, East, West and North Delhi. You see the entire Delhi open urinal structure changing. And it won't require crores and crores of rupees. It would just require consistent support and monitoring. That's it. You tag it in Google and any other maps, but if it is not usable, what good does the map do?
Right.
You have an air runway, but you don't have aircrafts. What is the runway doing?
Yeah.
You're locating the runway, good, but no aircrafts. What is the airport good mean for? So you have an open urinal where you can't go within 100 meters of that urinal because of the stink. Forget about using it. So if we can resolve that issue very locally with a local company and put an ad, this is managed by, like the way they do in parks, and you manage it, you see how transformation happens, and then start awareness campaigns. Right. That's how cities like Indore have become the cleanest cities in India.